you know that for Scaramouche, they actually wanted to do a musical, and they wanted Gene Kelly in said musical. And I personally think that it's a very good thing that it didn't happen. I love Gene Kelly. I really do.
Different thing.
It would have been a completely different thing, and I must say that the Gene Kelly things that had to do with adventure and like swordsman, except for singing in the rain, it was pretty much a mess.
Well, Singing in the Rain is not adventure and swordsman.
Yeah, but okay, there's a little bit of swordsman in that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But any other one where he's just an adventurer, that's that one thing with Judy Garland set in Spain. It's bad. Yeah. And so I'm kind of glad that...
And he's already done the Three Musketeers.
Exactly.
So...
I like Stewart Granger in this.
I love Stewart Granger.
So wonderful.
Yes. I really feel that he didn't get enough movies. Enough really cool...
He actually made a lot of movies, but there were a lot of the lesser scripted ones. This is one of the better ones that he did. But he did a lot of he was prolific in Hollywood, and I do know why. There was a problem. He was married to Gene Simmons, which is not a problem, but he was living in a house somewhere, and they had problems with the neighbor, and it came to lawsuits and money, and so they needed a lot of money. That's why you have so many Gene Simmons movies or cameos or whatever, because she took every part she could get. Oh. And he also took every part he could get, and some of them were really bad, actual stinkers. And in the end, the marriage did not survive. And when you read the Wikipedia about Scaramouche, his co-star Eleanor Parker is not pleased with him because he was not being nice, and I think he was not being nice because he was the home life was not great, and it had nothing to do with Gene Simmons. It just had to do with that problem. So he was actually pretty riled up, but I think it translates really good to the movie because André Moreau is also pretty riled up all the time. He has his carefree face and then not. Yeah, and it's really gets really serious. Yeah. And he gets really, really angry. And Stewart Granger does it wonderfully. So he manages to channel whatever is going on in his life into the movie in the right way.
I loved, and I know that's the point of the movie, I loved the 3 fights where he knows nothing, he knows something but way not enough, and now he's an equal. And that, to build the whole movie around that is like... And it makes no bones about it. It's like, we have a good fighter. See, we starting opening scene. He's fantastic. Like, oh my god. And then we have somebody who can't fight. And he needs to learn how to fight because semi-brother died kind of thing. Revenge.
Revenge plot always good.
It's perfect. It works, and there's the girl, and there's the other girl. There's a lot of shenanigans with the girls.
Eleanor Parker as Lenore was very feisty, and I love her in her way. But I also love Janet Leigh as the very soft-spoken Aline. And the contrast, also, I think that the contrast of the red wig, the red hair versus the white wig also worked.
But so cleverly done.
So cleverly done. And the choice of placing it in this time, because I think this is after a book, and I believe the book is in this time, but this is the time for sword fighting. All the sword fighting you see on screen is always this sword fighting. Even if they're doing musketeers, they're doing this era of sword fighting. They're about 150 years out of place in skill, because that absolute skillness. Because they did have the rapiers as the musketeers, but they just whacked with them and pointed with them. Whereas these people have actual skill that you have to learn, and it takes time. And what I didn't like is not quite the right thing, is that the film doesn't actually tell you that even though they're dueling and the main and everyone else, they're dueling, all the time. But the thing is, it was at this time it was illegal. It was very much illegal because in the time of the Musketeers, it was legal enough. You didn't get into trouble for dueling. You got into trouble for other things. In this time, because so much time has passed and they lost so many good men to dueling, it's become illegal. And so all these duels are absolutely illegal. But they, unfortunately, the movie doesn't tell you that, which is a shame.
No, it spends no time telling you this.
No.
It's just 6 o'clock in the morning behind the cathedral.
Yeah.
So...
But it has to be set in the time that it is set because of the Assemblée, the assembly where they're trying to, where the populace is trying to have a conversation with the rest of the governing body to try and solve the fact that France is bankrupt and it has to be fixed.
Again, they don't address this either.
No, that's not what that's about.
You get so little of it. I love this movie. But, I mean, that's it. But you get so little of it that it gives you absolutely no information of why these people are there. You don't even know that this is the parliament.
Yeah.
So...
and you don't even know that this parliament is not nearly as... permanent and always there as a Senate or Dutch Parliament is. It is any time the king can say, and now we're going to close it, and then the entire conversation with the populace with the government is gone.
They never have a conversation in this thing anyway, other than I like your face, your your mother looks like a swine. I mean, that's
behind the cathedral of six.
Yeah. And that's the thing with films like this, you don't have time for that. But it's done really well. It's done like you just get swept along from every moment to every moment. So
yeah. The craftiness of being able to what they can do in the movie and what they put it all out there, because like Mel Ferrer, who is the perfect swordsman at the beginning, and the second time also, and the third time there is a besting going on at some point.
His match, yes.
But Mel Ferrer, there was on the wiki there was an interview with him, and he said because somebody said, "Oh, you're such a wonderful swordsman." He says, "I'm not a swordsman at all. I am a dancer. I learned the entire routines as a dance routine. The swordsman, that's Granger. He is the actual swordsman, and you can actually, now that you know it, you can see it because Mel Ferrer is standing quite." Tall, whereas Granger is slightly bent over. The bent over is the proper pose for sword fighting, whereas this up is more of a dancer.
Yeah.
But Mel Ferrer is right, because I did hear from another master for Highlander, the series. They had a sword master at a convention and they were talking about it, and he said basically none of these sword fights ever on screen are ever improvised, because you can't have that, because these are very dangerous weapons. So every move, even the silly feign move, is choreographed. He said the only time we actually had an accident on the set was when somebody who was already out of shot did something that wasn't scripted. Mm-hmm. And you got a little nick. So making it a dance and having Mel Ferrer, who I'm sure who has ballroom dancing as his, or maybe even ballet as his main thing, absolutely learnable. But he learns it as this is that move, and then we do that move, and then we do that move.
That's what you need from an actor with a sword.
Yeah.
You need them to learn the moves, and you need them to not actually...
And understand that it is a sharp, pointy thing.
Yeah. And that you're not going to play around. You do this because the other person, the stunt person, is going to have to do that.
Yeah. And also with these sword fights, it is not always the person that you think is the one who actually is doing the stuff. So to make Mel Ferrer look good, Stewart Granger has to do, especially that first time, he has to do a lot. Because it doesn't come like that. So he has to make sure that there's room for Mel Ferrer to be good. Yeah. And then later they're sort of coming closer, and then he has to get bested. And then Mel Ferrer has to act out the part of what it's like to get bested.
Yeah.
It's really a testament of both actors that they're both equally good in all those things.
The last fighting scene is sometimes mentioned on the internet as on the short list of the best fights on film. Another one is the one from The Princess Bride.
Yes.
Which is also a very long fight.
But I think it's very strongly based on Scaramouche.
Yeah, and this one... And they do the cool thing about, guess what? I'm not actually a left-handed. It's so cool. But that's only to make the stakes go up and up and up, and to make the fight last longer. And this fight is very long.
It's 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's huge.
8 minutes. And
they go around, and they inside they're in an opera house. So inside they go balancing on the balconies and all of that. And I'm sure there was nets down there, but it's definitely them, and it's definitely for real.
There were no nets down there, and Stewart Granger did twist his ankle and hurt his shoulder.
Well, because that's all.
it was walking on the backs of the seats, and then he misstepped at some point.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's 1954, I believe. Oh, 52.
52.
It's a kind of Hollywood was a kind of cowboy town until at least the mid 60s. So yeah. And he was a rough and tumble kind of guy, and he was pretty pissed off. So that makes it you know.
And it's just everything together. It was excellent. It's like the best thing. I'm pretty much saying, like, what can we say about this film? It's just very very good.
One of the things that is a thing to say about this film is that it is not surprisingly, it is very popular in France. And the interesting thing about that is that it is about France, and very often a film that is about a certain place that it was not actually made by, it usually means Whereas it's somehow, this thing gets a certain flavor, right? Yes, it's recorded somewhere on the back lot in Hollywood, so it doesn't look. It looks enough like France, but it has a certain flavor that appeals to the French enough to love it. In that way, and I do believe that with the way that the king the monarchy is portrayed, but not, because you don't get much to see of that. Some of the nobility is portrayed, but you don't get to see of it. You get to see an opera.
And they're vilified clearly. So
there is the opera house you get to see. You also get to see the players, the troupe of players going through different little towns. That is like local color in a way that.
Yes. And they make it big, because they end up going to Paris.
Yes.
And that's, so now we have the underdog, and the underdog has made it, and we're in Paris and we're doing the thing. Of course, we don't get to see the show because, hey, finally the main is there. So, but it hits all those points.
Yeah. And also just the use of the company, that the characters in the company, like Scaramouche and Pierrot and Pierrette, and those are established. They are established for Italian theater group, but the Italian theater groups have been to France a lot, so every French person also knows these.
Yeah.
So in a way that makes it very approachable for a French person.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they liked it, and that's.
And I think in a sense less is more, because they don't go into any of it very very much. This is about doing those 3 fights between those 2 men. This is about revenge.
And why they're doing it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. They're using everything else as shorthand for this is the setting, but they didn't shortchange on the setting. They're like, no, this is the setting. So we got this entire troupe, and he takes the place of the Scaramouche and all of that. So it's just extremely clever writing.
Yeah.
And it's beautifully done.
Oh God! And
the
colorful.
Costumes, it's some of the most amazing costumes I've ever seen on film.
Stewart Granger in that black and white jobby at the end. Oh my God!
Everything, and the women in everything they've got going on. The hair especially is just absolutely scrumptious.
Yeah. And then as for historical. Eleanor's hair is almost never correct, but it's fine. She's also the one who is going to be the modernist. She's the one to go into the next era. A criticism of this story, and I think that probably has to do with the book, and I haven't read the book, is that so you have these people and you have now invested in them and they have now come to the end of the story, but you do know that within and not inconsiderable time, there's going to be a revolution, and a lot of people are going to die. So they don't make any. They don't do anything with that.
Yeah, because
But
Aline is still
yeah,
some heiress of something.
quite frankly,
So she's super high up. She was in the Queen's entourage at 19.
if she can,
She needs to run
if she
very
can,
quickly.
if she can marry André and he is in the Assemblée and stays in the Assemblée, then she becomes his wife, and
Yeah.
he can try and save her
try,
that way.
try.
But he cannot save the Marquis. But no.
The Maynes already.
Yeah.
No, but that's his brother, right?
Yeah.
So, oh yeah.
Oh, no, he's
that's
also-
the
oh,
one.
God.
That's the one thing, because he's actually also a son of the old Marquis. So.
Which means he's also nobility. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not
so,
good.
So that's the storytelling of the fairy tale thing of the book. What did bother me a tiny bit is that he is like, I don't know why I couldn't kill him, and I go, that's because you can't kill your brother. That's taking the fairy tale aspect a little too far for me, because there's absolutely nothing in him that wouldn't want to kill this guy.
Yeah.
He's been training up for it for a year or several
And
months.
he's a nasty piece of work.
Yeah, and he kills people left, right, and center.
Yeah.
There is no need not to kill this guy.
Yeah.
So, and then he leaves him alive, and then his own father, his adoptive father, or no, not they didn't do adoption in those days, but his foster father,
It was
then
foster father.
finally says, "Oh, but this is your half brother," and so this guy knew all along, and Andre's been running around trying to find the information.
He didn't know that. He didn't know what André was looking for. Because nobody tells anything to anyone else.
Yeah.
Because why would you?
He does say it upon leaving. He's like, I'm going to now find out who my
Yeah, but
father really is.
He
And then
doesn't.
it's off he is.
Yeah, but he doesn't. The adoptive father doesn't get to hear that he what his conclusion was, what he found out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is.
Yeah, people don't talk to each other. Hello.
Yeah.
So that, and I mean, it's lovely that he leaves his half brother alive, but Marquis de Maynes.
And the Marquis de Maynes is going to get guillotined, so that's
That's
going
true.
to take care of that
That's
one.
true. So they're probably
And,
all going to have to flee to
the
Germany or England.
the
or...
new world. The Moreaus are going to the new world.
Oh,
Maybe to Canada.
okay.
It's always a option.
Yeah, sure. It's not an easy
And
life.
and Eleanor is going to go with Napoleon.
Yeah. And then it's a fairy tale.
Yes.
Because they put a wink of the eye to
Yes.
and they said we had fun. This was just a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's meant, but there is like the book is quite a bit older, and there is actually a silent movie of this from I think 1923.
Oh, that's so cute.
So I think there is a certain aspect that came from that silent movie into this movie in jolliness and silliness and
because once André is no longer on screen, is no longer then you can get back to the lightheartedness again, which is where it started.
Yeah.
It's as good as perfect.
Yes.
It's got a two little nigglies minus of perfect.
it is
really
an
good.
adventure movie. It's not pretending to be anything other than an adventure movie.
Yeah. And it's not even slow by current day
Oh
standards.
God, no! It was pacey.
Yeah.
You're never bored, and the moments that it's kind of slow, you have a pretty girl to look at. So
And pretty guys.
and the pretty
But,
guys.
Yeah. It shows that you can actually, if you need to put 3 proper fights in a movie, that fills up each and half an hour. It doesn't fill the whole half hour, but you in order to actually write your way from one fight to the next, you have plot, you have story. It's not too little to work on.
No.
And a lot of these films, and I've done, for instance, The Rope, you only get 1 proper fight.
Yeah. But I think that's
And-
also to do with, you have to actually have the people to pull it off, which is Stewart Granger and then Mel Ferrer to counter off that. Basil Rathbone was in an earlier age the man to go to, because you could always have him as the opponent in the fight, and so that's why he played a lot of times like the other guy, and he has like a few scenes and a big fight, because he has that ability, that fighting ability. And Stewart Granger also had that going for a very long time. That his prowess was that this physicality, not specifically the sword fighting, but the physicality, running around and jumping on a horse, jumping off a thing, jumping into a thing. That was what he was.
Yeah, the swashbuckling.
Yeah, swashbuckling. Yeah. And when Hollywood was, or he was tired of Hollywood and Hollywood was tired of him. I'm not sure which one is which, but he did leave and he ended up in Germany in the Winnetou movies, which are westerns. As a slightly older guy, he was old Surahand in that. And then when he was in German, because those were dubbed from whatever people were speaking into the German, and I think there's also an Italian dub out there. And then he stayed in Germany and learned German, and he actually, his last big role was in a soap. Not running around, because now 70 plus, but a soap.
Okay.
So he was one of those people who keeps working forever.
Yeah.
You know, he just keeps working. He's a well of energy that needs to erupt all over the place. Workaholic.
Yeah.
But to great effect.
Yeah. I think this is one of the best things he's ever done. I also love The Prisoner of Zenda, but I believe this script is better.
Yeah.
And The Prisoner of Zenda is a good concept. It's just the script could have been better.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have to do that one as well. There was an earlier black and white version as well, and it was also very good.
yeah. It's one of those kick-ass ideas. And this one, what we have going for Scaramouche is also, it's in color.
And I think this is
one of those beautiful films, really, really early on.
And it's a very specific concept, and it's one of those films that has not been repeated, other than from the silent era to the color film, but not again after that, because basically it's all in here.
Yeah.
What are you going to add to this?
Yeah.
Other than making it weird.
You can mess it up.
Yeah, but what's the point of that?
Yeah.
And it's very hard to top Mel Ferrer, and it's very hard to top Stewart Granger.
Almost impossible.
Or Eleanor Parker or Janet Leigh. None of these people can be topped in that way. Yeah. They are perfect, and that's very hard to top.
I think that's one of the reasons it's not... they're not considering redoing a film like this, is because it's... there's nothing new to say about it, because it's been said, and it's been said very, very well.
Yeah. Once they actually get a sword fighter, or preferably two sword fighters that are better than these two, significantly better than these two, you can consider it. And then you can also consider to make something else. There are other options.
There's so much to make.
Maybe another good Musketeer movie. There's always room for a good Musketeer movie.
That's true. And they've messed that up a lot.
There's been good ones, but there's been bad ones.
Here's a challenge, Hollywood. Do it where do it by the book, like the book has good stuff, and just do the book.
Yes.
No reimagining, just the book. I mean, it's a concept.
It is a concept. And the Brits did it, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a great movie.
Again, I would happily sit through any movie with any of these actors. It's just like every single one of them are just fantastic. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. And that's my opinion.
And my opinion.
And we're sticking to it.